Hello, everyone. Here with Project Griffin. My trusty co-pilot slash dog, Ludwig, is at my side. And I just wanted to talk really quickly about solar pricing and finance and how to know if you're getting a good deal. Solar varies a lot state by state when it comes to price. And as a general rule, you don't want to pay a lot more per month than your power bill to go solar. And most financing, meaning a loan or the bank funds, or the solar company has financing where you don't have to pay anything out of pocket. And that's great. That means you don't have to come up with all the money at once. I used to tell people it's a lot. Sorry if there's background noise. The interstate's kind of close. We're just kind of hanging out between traveling. But I tell people it's like buying a car. Most people don't buy a car with cash, and that's because the interest rates on cars are very good. And it's the same with solar. The banks and finance companies have figured out that when you go solar and you buy solar panels for your roof, for your house or your business, a little different with commercial, but for your house, let's say, you're just not paying your power bill to the power company and you're using it to pay off your solar. So it's actually better than financing a car in a lot of ways, because banks, when you finance a car, if you don't pay, they have to try to repossess the car. The car is an extra bill. Maybe it's for you to get to work, but that extra $400, $500, $300, whatever it is per month payment is money you have to come up with. Versus with solar, you're already paying your light bill. If you own a house, you're paying for the electricity. So going solar is usually, pretty good when it comes to a bill swap. You don't want to be paying a lot more monthly for your power bill. And there are a lot of reasons that you might end up paying more per month. Recently, I saw a solar company that advertised, it was actually a door pitch, and the gentleman said that they could match your power bill. And that's impossible. They can't match your power bill without knowing what direction your roof faces, how many panels they can fit on it. What they're basically doing is they're going to say that if you have a $100 a month power bill, we can give you a $100 a month solar payment. Great. But what if that $100 a month solar payment only covers half of your power bill? Now you went to $150 total, budget. And that's a small power bill, but that's what usually happens with small power bills, because in most places, the more you use per month for electricity, the more you pay. So actually, the more solar will benefit you. But don't fall for it. You only want to know about kilowatt hours when you go solar, and you want to know about price per watt or price per kilowatt hour. So in solar, these panels right behind me are 365 watts. So if I had 10 of them, I would have 3.65 kilowatts. 1,000 watts is a kilowatt, very easy math. So if I had 20 solar panels like these going on my roof, I would have 7.3 kilowatt hours. Now for a 7.3 system, that's about average for a home. It will offset, again, depending on the direction that the panels are facing, it will offset different amounts per month. It may offset $150 worth of electricity, may offset $250 worth of electricity if they're facing in the perfect direction, which is usually south or slightly southwest. The angle also comes into effect. So when it comes to pricing, know how many kilowatt hours you need to offset all the kilowatt hours on your power bill. And I'll talk about this in my next video, kilowatt hours, and how to basically know how many kilowatt hours you use. It's a pretty easy calculation, but it doesn't matter the price of solar per month so much as how much kilowatt hours it generates per month, which is going to determine how much it saves you. For instance, if you use an average of about 20 kilowatt hours per day, that means you're going to use 600 a month roughly. And so if your solar in a year produces over 7,200 kilowatt hours, it's going to completely offset your power bill. So if your solar payment's 150 and your power bill average was 150 and your solar production was over 7,200 kilowatt hours, you're good. So when it comes to price, know the production of the system. So the other thing about price is financing does make a big difference. If you were to be one of those people, those few lucky people who have enough money to pay cash for everything, and they buy their cars with cash, they have $20,000 or $30,000 or more in cash, and they pay for it all at once, great. You can do that with solar and make sure you get a discount. I used to work for a company, and for a certain period of time, they didn't give a discount for people who paid cash, even though the finance company charged them to use financing for customers who financed. And so it's like that with everything. Even cars nowadays, cash used to be king. You would get a price and then you would say, but I'm going to pay cash. I'm only going to pay this much. Now, Toyota and Honda and GM and Ford, they all want you to finance because they use in-house financing. When you make your monthly payments, they're making revenue on that monthly payment. So they actually now prefer you to finance. And again, it's the same with solar. They prefer you to finance. But as a customer, most of my customers over the past 5 years have financed. It's a better deal because you don't have to come up with that money all out of pocket. You pay your monthly power bill is now gone, and you pay for your solar with the same money. So your budget doesn't change year to year. And that's why solar price-wise makes sense. But if you want to know that you're getting a good price, subscribe to my channel. We'll go over in detail and even state by state eventually. I'll build out pricing models, show you exactly what a good deal is because it varies. In California, things cost more, and it's no different with solar. I've sold solar in Idaho, and it costs less there. I'm in Arizona right now taking Project Griffin across the country on nothing but solar power. And I'm going to learn as I go across and go through each state. I'm going to talk to solar providers, talk to people in the solar industry and find out what the pricing is in each state and give that information to you. So stay tuned. And in a future video, we'll be going over kilowatt hours and how to calculate your usage because your kilowatt hour usage is so much more important when you're getting a bid for solar than the price. And doing a price match guarantee or some other such nonsense with a solar system is silly. Oh, and last thing I do want to address, I've spoken about it in a previous post, the Tesla Leasing. I looked at it on their website. I searched a few different states and it wasn't even available in those states. And what I think they're doing, I'm not sure yet, but what I think they're doing is they're just using the website to generate a whole bunch of leads. And then they're going to say, hey, we have 50 installs ready to go in this section of California. And then they're just going to subcontract. Tesla is going to hold the contract and they're going to subcontract someone to install those projects. And maybe they get a great installer. Maybe they get somebody who's just working for a short period of time for them. I don't know. I do know that Solar City, whom Tesla bought, was cutting a lot of corners on the installation quality. And you can look up the cases with Walmart. Walmart was their huge commercial client and had roofs catching on fire all over the country because of poor, shoddy workmanship on their solar. So, buyer beware. Tesla doesn't have a working model for solar yet. They've been so up and down in the solar industry. They really need to get that figured out. They promised the solar shingles in 2016, still aren't here. They're not being installed. They're on maybe 2, 3, 4 houses somewhere. I don't know. I haven't seen them. But solar panels are the way to go. Get a good price. If you're paying cash, it's around $250 per watt or $2,500 per kilowatt, around $3 to $350 if it's financed. And again, there's a lot of other factors that go into that, but that's good pricing. I've seen bids that are over $4 a watt, and in 2020, that's just ripping people off. So what that means is, again, if I have enough of these to have 10 kilowatts, about 26 of these size panels. And again, most residential panels are 310 watts, 320 watts right now. So if you had 30 of those roughly, you'd have a 10 kilowatt system. And so that should cost, financed, everything out the door, a little over $30,000, maybe $34,000, $37,000. And that should give you a monthly payment on a long-term, because the panels last 30 years or more, a payment of around $150, $200 a month, which is going to be offset by the savings from your power bill. Use your power bill savings to pay for solar. And that's how solar pricing works. It's priced by panel, by installation. And do know that the really small systems, if you have a small power bill, it's not going to make as much sense financially to go solar. If you have a $50 or an $80 power bill, you're only going to need a few panels. So the cost for permits and labor to put those 10 panels on your roof is going to be a huge part of it. And your power bill is actually less per kilowatt hour than someone who uses more power anyway. So it's less beneficial. You're really doing it, to kind of go solar and do your part, that kind of thing. Or maybe you really want to own your own power. And nowadays, with battery backups becoming more and more common, the batteries are in this that can back up my home. Whenever if I ever decommission this truck, I'm putting all this on my home. So it's a mini power plant. Solar is a mini power plant. It's a great thing. But know about financing. Know that money isn't free. At $0 out of pocket does have a cost, but it's usually worth it because getting a monthly cost that's flat and fixed instead of increasing power rates saves you money in the long term. It's a great benefit. And if you're a lucky person who can pay for solar with cash, get a really good deal. And I can help you do that. Hit me up. Go to my website, awakensolar.com. There's a little lead form on there, or my contact information's right there. If you want me to help you evaluate a solar bid, I'll be happy to do so. And keep on shining. The sun's setting. It's beautiful Arizona sunset. I'm going to get ready for bed.